Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Steve,
And I'm Scott.
and together we're Backyard Musings, broadcast from Apple Valley, California. Really interesting segment. I always say that. I
Well, they
always
are,
say
though.
really, they are interesting. Massive glaciers from Earth's past reshaped the planet in ways that paved the way for complex life. As they moved, they carved into the crust, releasing minerals that altered ocean chemistry and set off a chain reaction of life supporting changes. This research not only unlocks secrets of Earth's deep history, but also offers insights into how climate shifts, both ancient and modern, can dramatically impact the planet. Would you like to know more?
New research from Curtin University shows that massive ancient glaciers reshaped Earth's surface, much like giant bulldozers carving the landscape and setting the stage for complex life to emerge. By analyzing crystals in ancient rocks, scientists discovered that as glaciers moved across the land, they scraped deep into the Earth's crust. This process released key minerals, which then flowed into the oceans, altering their chemistry.
We've got a perfect example of this when you go down the hill off in 15. There's like these big boulders all around. I mean, as far as you can see.
Right, the
That's
Lytle Creek Wash.
yeah. That's
right
where
there
a glacier
across.
passed
Yeah,
through,
they're just a divorce.
and
Yeah,
then washed out to the ocean. I mean,
right.
the ocean is what 30 miles from that.
Yeah.
These changes had a significant impact on the planet's composition, creating conditions that made it possible for more complex life forms to evolve. Lead researcher Professor Chris Kirkland from the Timescales of Mineral Systems Group at Curtin's Frontier Institute for Geoscience Solutions, let me take a breath there, explained that the study highlights Earth's deeply interconnected natural systems.
Quote, when these giant ice sheets melted, they triggered enormous floods that flushed minerals and their chemicals, including uranium, into the oceans. That's according to Professor Kirkland. Uh, Going on with a quote, this influx of elements changed ocean chemistry at a time when more complex life was starting to evolve. This study highlights how Earth's land, oceans, atmosphere, and climate are intimately connected, where even ancient glacial activity set off chemical chain reactions that reshape the planet.
This is fascinating. This is crazy fascinating.
Yeah, so we've got some. Well, we'll finish. We got some glaciers fairly close here. So
We still have glaciers, yeah,
yeah,
like in the Sierras.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's a Palisades Glacier,
yeah.
Clyde Glacier, Barton Glacier.
Himalaya.
Yeah, there's. It's cool.
Professor Kirkland said the study also offered a new perspective on modern climate change, showing how past shifts in Earth's climate triggered large scale environmental transformations. We know with the ice ages, we know that.
Right.
Quote, this research is a stark reminder that while Earth itself will endure, the conditions that make it habitable can change dramatically. Professor Kirkland said. He continues on. These ancient climate shifts demonstrate that environmental changes, whether natural or human driven, have profound and lasting impacts. Understanding these past events can help us better predict how today's climate changes might reshape our world.
To put this into perspective, here are ways that glaciers impact the environment. First one is nutrient delivery. Glacier melt delivers nutrients into lakes, rivers, and oceans, driving blooms of phytoplankton.
Yeah, we need that. The fish need that.
Yeah, that's what they eat on, right? Number two would be stream habitats. Gradual glacier melt sustains stream habitats for plants and animals. I don't know, you can include fish and animals, I guess.
Mhm.
Number three would be water source.
And the things that eat the fish, like bears and stuff.
Exactly, yeah. Glacier melt contributes water to ecosystems throughout dry months, creating perennial stream habitat and providing water for plants and animals. Four, downstream effects. Cold runoff from glaciers affects downstream water temperatures, which can impact aquatic species. Five, rise in sea level. Melting glaciers contribute to rising sea levels. Six, water scarcity. Less ice means less water available for human use, including drinking, hydroelectric generation, and irrigation.
Yeah. Glaciers act as reservoirs of water that persist through summer. Continual melt from glaciers contributes water to the ecosystem throughout dry months, creating perennial stream habitat and a water source for plants and animals. The cold runoff from glaciers also affects the downstream water temperatures. Many aquatic species in mountainous environments require cold water temperatures to survive. Some aquatic insects, fundamental components of the food chain
Yep.
are especially sensitive to stream temperature and cannot survive without the cooling effects of glacial meltwater. Such changes in stream habitat may also adversely impact native trout and other keystone salmon species.
Yeah. Glaciers are not only important because of what they add to the environment, thanks to the ice albedo effect, which I have no idea what that
It's
is.
reflection.
Oh, okay. They also help keep solar radiation out. Albedo is the measure of how much energy a surface can reflect. Due to the high albedo of snow and ice, Earth's glaciers, particularly ice sheets, reflect a tremendous amount of solar radiation that would otherwise be absorbed by the land beneath. Sea ice, the saltwater cousins of glaciers, also, would that be like an iceberg?
Yeah.
Also plays a part in this important process by reflecting.
Wait, the iceberg is fresh water. This would be like when the
Iceberg?
ocean freezes.
Ocean.
Yeah,
Ocean
when,
icebergs.
yeah, well, like the Arctic Ocean when it freezes and then it breaks off. That's an iceberg.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Important processes of reflecting energy that would otherwise be absorbed by a darker, lower albedo ocean. With the power to regulate how much solar energy our planet absorbs, glaciers and sea ice are critical components of Earth's thermostat.
While people and plankton alike reap the benefits of seasonal glacial melting, there is a limit to how much melting is too much. This limit lies in a glacier's mass balance, the difference between its accumulation in the winter and ablation or shrinkage in the summer. Under more ideal climate conditions, the mass lost after a period of melting is regained in the winter as new layers of snow transform into glacial ice. Unfortunately, these conditions do not reflect reality. Recent mass balance studies show that Earth's glaciers are melting at an unsustainable rate. Well, we're at ice age. We're coming at the end of the ice age, so it's heating up.
Between 2000 and 2019, glacial mass worldwide dropped roughly 267 gigatons per year.
That's a lot of zeros.
Researchers estimate that this melting has contributed to roughly 21% of observed sea level rise, an effect of climate change that threatens to displace millions by the end of the century. The rate at which the glaciers are disappearing has risen 57% since the 1990s, and current warming trends, 2/3 of Earth's glaciers may vanish by 2100. I don't know.
2100 is a long time away.
It is a long time away, but
we might have the second coming of the Savior tomorrow.
Just remember, we're just passing on information. This is not our stuff.
Yeah, we're not the subject matter experts.
Right.
Freshwater input from melting glaciers can disrupt the Atlantic meridional overturning circulation, AMOC. We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
A system of ocean currents that plays an enormous role in Earth's climate and weather patterns. As the surface area of high albedo glaciers and sea ice shrinks, like the Arctic sea ice is starting to shrink, more solar radiation absorbed by the Earth, accelerating the cycle of warming and melting in a necessary feedback loop. So glaciers do play an important part on this planet.
Right. And there, like we were talking, there's obviously evidence out there that shows that there was a lot more glacial activity years ago than there are now. So it has, for whatever reason, it's warmed up. But is it going to be gone by 2100? What was that?
Well, we know what the reason is. When the Earth is coming around the sun and it's an elliptical path and it changes, and we're at a point where we're getting closer to the sun. We talked about that.
Right. Yeah. So it's happening, but I don't think it's going to happen in our lifetime or my grandkids'
Right. We're just a
lifetime,
little speck, when it comes to geological time.
Exactly. So good stuff, though.
All right, folks. Thanks for joining us.
Take care,
We'll
everyone.
see you this afternoon.
All right. Thanks, everyone.